Good morning. Welcome. This is Stephen C., and you are at Steve O'C's on TikTok. Today is Friday, July 18th, 2025, 11 a.m. Central Time. This is our daily TikTok Course in Miracles review, where we review the lesson of the day and a corresponding portion of the text. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. I am here every day at 11 a.m. Central Time. If you missed the live or you would like to review some of the other lessons we've covered since January 1st, you can go to the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. The link is in my account bio, or you can search Stephen C, Stephen, capital C, over on YouTube. There are over 165 hours of material, 198 lessons already uploaded, one per day. So we use the Course in Miracles as a platform, as a framework for a spiritual discussion. The subject is metaphysics, spirituality, ancient wisdom, hermetic principles, science of mind, all these good things, self-inquiry, impartial self-observation to help us transform our consciousness and return to our true self, return to the truth and awareness of who and what we really are. I like to begin each live by reviewing the introduction to the course, the introduction to the text as an opening exercise, as a chance to ground ourselves, orient ourselves properly to the text, to the purpose, as an opening prayer, if you will. So the introduction to the Course in Miracles reads, this is a Course in Miracles. It is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean you can establish the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. The course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all-encompassing can have no opposite. This course can therefore be summed up very simply in this way: nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And that is just a fantastic, wonderful summation, direct, succinct, 2 paragraphs, 14 sentences. That is what the Course in Miracles is all about. A required course, a universal curriculum presented here in a framework of Christianity, but by no means the only form the universal curriculum can be presented in. Course in Miracles is simply designed for a Western consciousness, if you will, a way of thinking that has pretty much covered the entire planet, beginning with the Anglo-American, European thought system, Enlightenment, way of thinking, The Eastern way of thinking is involved a little bit more with the right hemisphere of the brain than the Western thinking, which is heavily left hemisphere. So that those opening paragraphs, a great way to start and orient ourselves properly. As you know, we cover the lesson of the day from the course and a corresponding portion of the text. Today, Friday, July 18th, is the 199th day of the year. So lesson 199 today reads, I am not a body, I am free. I am not a body, I am free. This is, of course, a very fundamental and important part of the instructions here, the teachings of the Course in Miracles. We are not bodies. We use the bodies as communication devices. We are here on a mission. We are consciousness holding a body, using a body. We are consciousness communicating with consciousness that thinks it is separated from its source. Egoic consciousness, selfishness, self-centeredness, me, mine, as my mother used to say. The egoic consciousness is the sense of separation, the belief in separation, the belief in the body. And here is the 180-degree reversal that the Course in Miracles seeks to. The 180-degree reversal that the Course in Miracles seeks to. Through our mind discipline, through the workbook. So today we say and practice the thought, I am not a body, I am free. So the commentary reads, freedom must be impossible as long as you perceive yourself as a body. Body is a limit. Who would seek for freedom in a body looks for it where it cannot be found. The mind can be made free when it no longer sees itself as in a body, firmly tied to it and sheltered by its presence. If this were the truth, the mind were vulnerable indeed. This lesson makes me think of Cypher in The Matrix, the character in The Matrix, if you recall, who chooses to stay in the Matrix when he is offered the opportunity to remove himself from the Matrix. He's sitting in a restaurant eating a steak, and he says, no, I just can't give this up. This steak is just too good. So that is identification with the body. But identification with the body keeps us limited. So today we say, I am not a body, I am free. The mind can be made free when it no longer sees itself as in a body, tied to it and sheltered by its presence. The ego, the egoic consciousness, is the state of mind that identifies with the body. I am the body. The ego and the body are a pair. The Holy Spirit the higher self are a separate pair, true pair, truth, nothing but the truth. And so we must make a decision. Heaven is the decision I must make. We have to decide now, since we decided otherwise previously and eternity ago, since we decided against the truth, since we now defend ourselves against the truth, we have to make a decision to return to the truth, and we have to practice and discipline ourselves to think a new way under a new paradigm, within a new paradigm, a new way of thinking, a new structure of thought. Continuing here, it says, the mind that serves the Holy Spirit is unlimited forever, in all ways, beyond the laws of time and space, unbound by any preconceptions, and with strength and power to do whatever it is asked. Attack thoughts cannot enter such a mind because it has been given to the source of love, and fear can never enter in a mind that has attached itself to love. It rests in God. And who can be afraid who lives in innocence and only loves? It is essential for your progress in this course that you accept today's idea and hold it very dear. Be not concerned that to the ego it is quite insane. The ego holds the body dear because it dwells in it, lives united with the home that it has made. The ego consciousness has constructed the body, because the body is the symbol of separation. Ego is a part of the illusion that has sheltered it from being found illusory itself. So in thought, in consciousness, we have to go beyond the body to spot the ego in order to realize the egoic consciousness is a sense of separation, that it makes itself special and different, therefore open to attack. It must defend, right? Nobody understands it, which is a projection because it doesn't understand itself, because it is not united with true understanding, with the source, with God, with the infinite invisible. Here does it hide, and here it can be seen as what it is. Declare your innocence and you are free. Okay, sins, quote unquote, sins are generated in the body, right? So we become offended by what other bodies do, what other bodies say, which is a trick, an illusion, a hallucination, an entire system that has been built up in order to keep us separated from the truth, keep us separated from our true selves, to keep us confused, unenlightened, unaware, sleeping. Okay? Declare your innocence and you are free. The body disappears because you have no need of it except the need the Holy Spirit sees. For this, the body will appear as useful form for what the mind must do. It thus becomes a vehicle which helps forgiveness be extended to the all-inclusive goal that it must reach according to God's plan. Okay, as soon as we wandered off, the plan was implemented, the plan of the Holy Spirit to return us to our source. And no matter how far we have wandered from our home, prodigal son, each of us individually, all of us collectively, we will, sooner or later, it's up to you, return home, return to the source, return to God, the non-dual consciousness of God. It says, cherish today's idea. I am not a body, I am free. Practice it today and every day. Make it a part of every practice period you take. There is no thought that will not gain in power to help the world, and none which will not gain in added gifts to you as well. We sound the call of freedom around the world with this idea. The Holy Spirit is the home of minds that seek for freedom, true freedom, not political freedom, not economic freedom, not freedom in a relationship. Those are all derivatives. Those are all fine and good. Nothing wrong with those, but they are all derivatives of the original freedom, the one freedom. Freedom in spirit, freedom in truth, freedom in consciousness. Okay, this is conflict-free, an unequivocal response to mind with but the thought of freedom as its goal. The body will serve. Be free today. Carry the freedom as your gift to those who still believe they are enslaved within a body. Okay? That does not mean you go up and shake them and tell them they're not a body. That means you just hold this thought in your own consciousness. You strengthen this thought in your own consciousness. You strengthen it in your own consciousness by looking past your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife, your children, your boss, politicians, the businessmen. You look past their bodies to the truth in them, that they are spirit. Therefore, you strengthen it in your own mind. So that is the practice. Those are the steps. Okay. Don't have to say a word. Just have to be it and see it in everyone and everything. Every object that you see is spirit. There is no matter. Okay? There is no separate realm from spirit, from the spiritual realm. It is all spirit. Okay? This is the goal. This is the function. This is the state of mind. This is the consciousness. It is all spirit. God is all in all. In the computer, in the glass, in the book. It is imbued with God's spirit. God is in that glass because God is in my mind. And so I perceive only the light. I perceive only love. You are God's son. In immortality, you live forever. Why would you not return your mind to this? And practice well the thought the Holy Spirit gives you for today. Your brothers stand released with you in it. The world is blessed along with you. God's Son will weep no more. And heaven offers thanks for the increase of joy your practice brings to it. God himself extends his love and happiness each time you say, I am not a body, I am free. I hear the voice that God has given me, and it is only this my mind obeys. So use this as a thought for the day. Use this to supplement your regular spiritual practice, your normal spiritual practice. Take this thought into a meditation, sit with it quietly. Focus on the thought, I am not a body. I am free. I am spirit. I am pure consciousness. Okay? Are you your car? No, you have a car. You own a car. Are you your bicycle? No, you have a bicycle. You use a bicycle. Same thing with your body. Are you your body? No, you use your body. You have a body. So this thus begins the separation from the attraction of the egoic consciousness. Again, the ego thinks it is the body and wants to convince you, wants you to identify with the ego and with the body. So when I become offended, when I become angry, when I become despondent, when I become frustrated, that is in fact exactly what I am doing. I am not my thoughts, but I am identifying with those thoughts, with those egoic thoughts. I am identifying with the egoic consciousness. And in that very moment, I'm separating myself from God. The Course goes even further and says, not only separating yourself from God, but actually attacking God. So subconsciously and unconsciously, it is felt, it is realized that identifying with the ego, identifying with separation, is an attack. That is where the guilt comes from. Okay? The ego, of course, a lie and the father of lies. The ego will tell you that guilt is because of things you've done, things you've said, people you have hurt no one. This is a dream. Everyone is perfectly fine in the mind of God. No one has been hurt, harmed, or endangered. This is a simulation. Everyone is wearing their headgear, their metamask in heaven, dreaming of a simulation, you see, where conflict lives, where conflict abounds. Nothing more than a simulation, nothing more than an illusion. Yes, continue to use your discernment. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You may not want to walk into that bar. You may not want to go to that neighborhood at the moment, unless you can maintain the consciousness that you're fully protected. Then you can go anywhere you want. So I am free in consciousness. If you can maintain that state, you can go anywhere. but use your discernment. Okay? Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. This is a step-by-step process. This is an ongoing process. This is a curriculum we're learning. We're recovering our true self. And now, a corresponding portion of the text. This is chapter 23, section 4. It's called Above the Battleground. Perfect match. Above the battleground. Remember, this chapter is called The War Against Yourself. Battleground is within. You are at war with yourself. If you see it outside of yourself, it's part of a projection. It's an individual projection. See it in your individual life. And it is a collective projection as we look and see what's going on in Ukraine, in the Middle East, in Africa, everywhere, right? It's a projection. The actual conflict is within, in consciousness. It's a false conflict. It's an illusion. It's a false idol in the mind. Okay. Also, ultimately, you are not your mind, but although this course is very profound, very deep, very extensive, okay, it's just the beginning. It's just we're trying to turn our consciousness around here. Okay, we're trying to get straightened out just a little bit in the mind, trying to clean up the clutter and confusion, so at least we can see what we've got, and then we can get rid of what we don't want anymore, what we don't need anymore. So, above the battleground, here it says, do not remain in conflict, for there is no war without attack. The fear of God is fear of life, and not of the big D, the opposite of life, the big D. I'm coming, Elizabeth, it's the big D. Fear of God is fear of life, yet he remains the only place of safety. In him, now you see how it's talking here. In him, not looking at him, in him, one with him, in the mind of God, one with the mind of God, surrounded by the mind of God. Okay, totally different way of thinking, perceiving, experiencing. In him is no attack, and no illusion in any form stalks heaven. Heaven is wholly true. No difference enters, and what is all the same cannot conflict. You are not asked to fight against your wish for conflict. Okay? Resist not evil, but you are asked to realize the form it takes conceals the intent. And it is this you fear, not the form. What is not love is conflict. What is not loving must be an attack. Every illusion is an assault on truth, and everyone does violence to the idea of love, because it seems to be of equal truth. What can be equal to the truth and yet different? Attack and love are incompatible. Yet, if they both are true, then they must be the same and indistinguishable from one another. So here it's describing the confusion. If you think you can attack and be loving at the same time, how can two different things be the same thing? Because they're not things separate from you. They are you. So you're conflicted. You're split. Your mind is split. If you think you can attack 1 minute and love the next, love is complete, love is total, just like attack is complete and attack is total. You have to choose one or the other. It is not the body that is like the Son's creator. What is lifeless cannot be the Son of God. Okay, the body is animated by consciousness. It is quote unquote given life by consciousness, okay, and not by your consciousness, by God's consciousness, not by my consciousness, by God's consciousness. God's consciousness through my awareness, through God's spirit through my consciousness animates this body. The energy and the thoughts that I am expressing are coming from the source to the degree that I open myself up to it. Do I know what I'm going to say next? No. Do I have something prepared? No. Okay, we're just covering the text, then the words come through. It is a higher energy. It is not my thoughts. I have withdrawn my little self. I have stepped aside and I am letting the Holy Spirit, I will let her lead the way. I will let her lead the conversation. A different way of thinking about things, different way of perceiving, believing, experiencing. God does not share his function with a body. He gave the function to create to his Son because it is his own. Okay? And the creation occurs in consciousness, in mind, in spirit, contacting that spirit, contacting that energy of creation is the goal. Energy of creation is the goal. Okay, it is God's plan for creation. The Father knows what needs I have, for he is with me always. He's part of my consciousness. Of course, he knows what I need and he provides it. Okay, the source energy, the higher self, the Christ consciousness provides exactly what I need. As I contact it, key point there, as I allow it to flow through me, as I remove my little self or remove the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, as we read in the introduction. God does not share his function with a body. What is the same can have no different function. Same is spirit to spirit, awareness to awareness. Creation is the means for God's extension, and what is His must be His Son's as well. Creation is the acceptance of God consciousness. Okay, creation is the acceptance of the kingdom of heaven within me. So life makes not death, creating like itself. Life extends life. Okay, like that spray foam you use to fill gaps in the wall. Spray it in and it just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding. Okay, so God is like spray foam. God in the mind is like the spray foam. Just expands from within itself. So above battleground, we must forgive. We must forgive. This is your part. To realize that attack in any form is not your will. The overlooking of the battleground is now your purpose. Excuse me, 1 second. Okay, the overlooking of the battleground is now my purpose. Be lifted up from a higher place, look down upon it. So why am I not a body? Can I raise my body up, and look down on the battlefield? The battlefield is not outside of me. Battlefield is within me. Conflict is in my mind. So lift myself up in consciousness, meditate, be still, and know I am God. From there, your perspective be quite different. Here in the midst of it, it does seem real. Here, you have chosen to be part of it. Here, attack, conflict is your choice. Yet, from above, the choice is miracles instead of attack. And the perspective coming from this choice shows you the battle is not real and easily escaped. Bodies may battle, but the clash of forms is meaningless. And it is over when you realize it never was begun. On the other hand, how can a battle be perceived as nothingness when you engage in it? How can the truth of miracles be recognized if attack, if conflict is your choice? So again, we have to decide, we have to make a choice. I have to decide. Do I want peace or do I want conflict? And so when I am tempted, when the conflict tempts me to jump in, to add my 2 cents, to straighten everybody out, to explain, to mansplain to everybody the truth, right? I've abandoned heaven. Instead, I can serenely rise above it, serenely, peacefully observe, knowing it is nothingness, knowing that conflict does not exist in the mind of God, therefore does not exist in my own mind. Therefore, what I see is a call for love. Of course, says everything is an expression of love or a call for love. And so, if I am aware of enough, I provide the love. Okay? Fundamentally, in mind, in consciousness, in spirit. Then, after that, to whatever degree makes sense, is sensible, I suppose, it can continue, but ultimately, it is the action of consciousness, the action of the spirit, which I have no idea how that works. I just know it does work. Just like electricity, just like gravity, just like the sun and the moon work. I don't know how that tree grows. I know it grows, even if I have a scientific explanation, right? Those are just words. I can't make the tree grow. I can't make the sunshine. I'm going to have to leave that up to the spirit, to the energy of life. When the temptation to attack rises to darken your mind, remember, you can see the battle from above. Even in forms you do not recognize. Okay, so sometimes the battle's invisible, but there will be indications. So that's what it's saying here. Even in forms you do not recognize, even in invisible forms, the signs you know. There is a stab of pain, a twinge of guilt, and above all, a loss of peace. This you know well. When they occur, leave not your place on high, but quickly choose a miracle instead of conflict. And God Himself and all the lights of heaven will gently lean to you and hold you up. You will receive a miracle. You will keep your peace. You will maintain a loving vibration, but you have to choose a miracle instead of attack. See no one from the battleground. Only bodies can attack. And if this is your purpose, then you must be one with them. A purpose unifies. And those who share a purpose have a mind as one. Okay? Think what is given to those who share their Father's purpose and know that it is theirs. They want for nothing. You are my beloved Son, and all that I have is yours. The embodiment of that statement. Words are meaningless. The embodiment that all that God is, I am. There's the rub. That's the trick. Do I believe it? Will I sit in meditation as Joel Goldsmith says, until I feel it, until I get confirmation. He calls it a click. Am I willing to sit in a receptive mode until the activity of Christ, until the activity of God makes itself known? All right? In that state, I am above the battlefield. Take no thought. Right? Take no thought for what you shall eat, for what you shall drink, for your clothes, for your shelter. It's already taken care of. As I become one with everything, one with God. Those with the strength of God in their awareness could never think of battle. What could they gain but loss of their perfection, right? So is a loss a gain? Everything fought for on the battleground is of the body. No one who knows that he has everything could seek for limitation, nor could he value the body's offerings. Right? So God, the Father in heaven, the Father within, the source of everything within me, gives me everything. So that is my goal. That is my function, to receive that, to realize that. Then cars, the dollar bills, the worthless dollar bills, becoming more and more worthless every day. The junky cars, the washers and dryers that are constantly breaking down. Okay, all that stuff gets added, right? The important thing is the union with truth in consciousness, awareness, recognition, realization of that sense of oneness. Okay, very hard to describe. Useless to argue about. Either I'm practicing presence, again, Joel Goldsmith. Either I'm practicing presence, I'm sitting, I've become receptive, I'm seeking only the light, only love, nothing but, okay? Nothing else can enter in. I'm simply sitting. Whatever, start with 30 seconds, start with 3 minutes. Let it build up naturally. That's what I'm seeking, to rise above the battleground in consciousness within myself. Okay? I am not a body. I am free. I am still as God created me. God did not create the body. God created consciousness. Consciousness descended to a lower vibration. Our consciousness, the Son of God, created a body. Then Jesus demonstrated the body is meaningless through the crucifixion and the resurrection. The body is meaningless. It can be destroyed and reconstituted. Okay. Again, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We're still going to use it. We still have to use it for a time. But we're not going to identify with it. We're going to raise ourselves above the battleground. So that is the lesson of the day, corresponding portion of the text. Perfect fit together. Go to ACIM.org, okay, Foundation for Inner Peace, their website. There you will find the text, you will find the workbook. You can search above the battleground. It'll take you right to the section we just discussed. Go to my YouTube channel. We have been doing this since January 1st, every morning, 11 a.m. Central Time. I will be here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for sharing this live. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for hanging out this morning. Thanks for being here. You are appreciated. You are valuable. You are necessary. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So peace and blessings. Love you. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Peace.